That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to share our thoughts, reactions, gripes with the 2021 Academy Award nominations for the 93rd Academy Award.
Well, really, it's your thoughts because for the categories we're going to be talking about, you've seen all of the nominees.
Yeah, we're just discussing 10 categories. You know, the ones that, well, at least if I deign to watch the awards, look forward to.
I haven't seen all of the nominees, so I feel like it's not really fair to comment on who I think should win or shouldn't.
You've seen a great many of them, though.
Yeah,
more than usual for you.
Sure. So let's start with Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees for that were Borat, subsequent movie film, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. What do you think?
I'm happy to see some things here, like One Night in Miami, White Tiger, Nomadland, of course, which has been a darling since it won Venice at the film festival in 2020. Borat, subsequent movie film, even for an adapted script, I don't know. To me, this has no business being there. And excising it could have allowed room for something more fitting, like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or First Cow from Kelly Reichardt. I would have liked to see one of those in this category instead. That said, I think Nomadland probably might take this, but The Father, which Florian Zeller adapted from his own play, I think would be also exciting to see that win.
Who do you think will win?
I think Nomadland will win.
Okay. Next is Best Adapted Screenplay. Original, sorry. The nominees for that are, we just did Adapted. I'm out of it. The nominees for that are Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Again, who am I? But Trial of the Chicago 7, I'm kind of irritated to see all the Academy Awards love for that film. But it's nice to see Sound of Metal in here. That was a kind of a dark horse. I remember seeing that out of AFI and really liking it, and am pleased to see that has maintained the kind of buzz necessary to make it where it has. But I'm really happy to see Judas and the Black Messiah picked up a bunch of nominations, including this one, and I would love to see that win. Or Promising Young Woman, I think I would be equally happy seeing that win this award.
Who do you think will win?
I think Promising Young Woman or Minari probably have the greater shot, but
You have to pick one. Who do you think will win? Not who you want to win.
I said that. Okay, Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
Let's say that.
All right. Best Cinematography. So the nominees: Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, News of the World, Nomadland, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Again, I think those are all not surprising selections. Trial of the Chicago 7, I think, doesn't need to be there. But happy to see Judas and the Black Messiah again, and Mank. I think Eric Messerschmitt's cinematography is, I think, the best part. The star of Mank is how it looks. So I think that is deserving to win. Again, I really like Sean Bobbitt's cinematography in Judas, so that would be my preference, but
Okay.
I think Mank probably will take it.
All right. Best Actor in a Supporting Role. So the nominees are Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci,
I think so.
Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Well, first of all, there are 3 black men in this category, which I think is awesome. And I guess the overall theme, I think this is the first time we're finally seeing that kind of diversity promised. Not to the extent it needs to be again, but I think that that's what's probably most exciting overall of this year's nominations. But the supporting categories are always where there's a little more fun to be had. That's where you'll see a lot of character actors that get nominated. Like Paul Raci for Sound of Metal, I think it's a great chance to kind of allow an under the radar performance that's excellent to shine. Again, and picking on the Trial of Chicago 7, Sacha Baron Cohen, while he is one of the better performances in that overly loquacious film, again, I think the actor that played Bobby Seale, I think gave the better performance in that film. Anyhow, overall, I like all of these. I'm happy to see Chloé, who won the Golden Globe, and alongside Lakeith Stanfield. I'd be very happy with either of them winning. I think Chloé will take it though.
Okay. Best Actress in a Supporting Role. So the nominees are Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari.
Mm-hmm. Again, one of my favorite categories is the supporting actress. Glenn Close is up against Olivia Colman again. I really think Glenn Close is deserving of having an Oscar. I don't think she should. I predicted that she probably would get nominated for this film in that terrible film. But I just think there's so many more interesting, elegant performances that could have taken that slot.
Like what?
Like Leslie Manville in Let Him Go. If we're going to be switching out some white ladies here, I think, to me, you could kick out Amanda Seyfried and Glenn Close and replace them with Candice Bergen and Let Them All Talk, and Leslie Manville and Let Him Go. In Glenn Close, technically, I don't know if their Razzie nominations have come out yet, but I read rumors that she could also get a Razzie nod for this role, which would make her one of 3 performers out of Oscars history ever to be nominated for an Oscar and a Razzie in the same role. And Maria Bakalova, I think she's here for, they put her through it with Giuliani in that film, but I don't know if I feel that is an awards-worthy performance. To me, the Borat films that's a different creature altogether, but maybe I'm just thinking too rigidly about that. Out of these, it's really exciting to see Yoon Yo-jung nominated. She's a South Korean staple. You've seen her in things. She's often used in Im Sang-soo's films and Hong Sang-soo. I remember there was a movie called Actresses we watched her in, which is kind of this bitchy mockumentary from 2009. She's been in tons of stuff since the 70s, and it's exciting to see that she's getting some recognition here. And she kind of takes over. Jodie Foster won the Golden Globe for The Mauritanian and is not included here, which I'm fine with. Yeah.
Who do you think will win?
I think... either, I don't know. I think they might just bite the bullet and give it to Glenn Close finally.
Okay.
No, that would be so annoying.
So Best Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, mm-hmm. Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Stephen Yeun for Minari. Is Riz Ahmed the man who lived across the street from us?
Yeah, in West Hollywood.
Oh.
And from Nightcrawler and a ton of other things.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of a devastating performance. He does a fine job. So definitely happy to see him here. This is the first year that an Asian American man has been nominated in this category, which to me is insane. That's of course Stephen Yeun from Minari. And he was in one of my favorite films, 2018, Burning, the Lee Chang-dong film. And also Riz Ahmed is British Pakistani, so technically there are 2 men of Asian descent in here. So interesting. I think I am a fan of Gary Oldman, and overall I liked Mank. I just think that there really could have been something more interesting in that slot, like Delroy Lindo in The Five Bloods, who to me, that wasn't a film I particularly cared for either, but he was the most interesting part of it, and I think it would have been more deserving and meaningful, I think, than the Oldman slot. But
Okay.
I think Chadwick Boseman is going to take it.
All right.
Who, if he did, would of course win posthumously. And off the top of my head, I believe the only other two people that's happened with are Peter Finch in Network, whose wife accepted the award for him, and Heath Ledger for The Dark Knight.
I will comment. I thought Anthony Hopkins was so good in The Father.
He is really good. This is actually a really good category, and not to put down Boseman's role, but and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was in my top 10 of the year, but Boseman, I think, almost only does so well because of that ensemble. So I don't think you can talk about Chadwick Boseman in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom without also acknowledging, Coleman Domingo and Glenn Turman, and to me that's more of an interesting ensemble, but it's interesting. If Nicole Kidman can win for The Hours in the Best Actress category, I mean, yeah, he should win Best Actor then in this.
Okay. Best Actress in a Leading Role. The nominees are Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
Overall, a lot of good things about this category. Notably, a few records set here that there, are two black women nominated at the same time in this category. Again, very depressing that is. To me, that should have happened last year because Alfre Woodard really deserved an Oscar nomination for Clemency, who would have been up against Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. Frances McDormand's Nomadland is an excellent film. I don't think that she should take home a third Oscar for that. I'm glad to see Vanessa Kirby here, who won Best Actress in Venice for her performance in Pieces of a Woman, which is a film I had some issues with overall, and I know there was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama that I think years later will probably come out about that. Carey Mulligan, the very contentious backlash over her calling out the variety critic, I think is an interesting part of this whole conversation, but I'm glad to see her here as well.
I'm glad she didn't hear me call her elderly.
To me, that character should be somebody that looks a little ravaged, but
Sure.
Andra Day took home the Golden Globe in this category for drama, and so I think she probably has the edge, and I would be more than happy with that. And the Academy does tend to lean into biopics and true life story performances. But that said, I really would love to see Viola Davis get a second Oscar for another August Wilson play, which I know I've said before. To me, the other thing about awarding people that are playing biopics is almost a category unto itself. Like an original character of which so few black performers are acknowledged for, because it's usually something to do with slavery or they're playing somebody famous and tragic. To me, Viola Davis is counter to anything like that in her performance as Ma Rainey. I would be very happy to see her take home a second Oscar. But Andra Day, either way, I think it'll be Andra or Viola, and they'll be the second black woman to win Best Actress, following up on Halle Berry's win for Monsters Ball.
Best Director.
Mm-hmm.
Another round, Thomas Vinterberg, Mank, David Fincher, Minari, Lee Isaac Chung, Nomadland, Chloé Zhao, Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell.
Mm-hmm.
For Nomadland, I wanted to say Zoe Chow.
Who is an actress?
I know.
Chloé Zhao, I think, which China's very upset about comments she's made and are planning on censoring the awards. You haven't seen Nomadland,
No.
Which is really worth watching. I think that, also the first time that this category has seen two women nominated at the same time. Previously, only 5 women throughout Oscar history have ever been nominated for Best Director. Lena Wertmüller, Jane Campion, Sofia Coppola, Catherine Bigelow, and Greta Gerwig, and only one of them have ever won, which is Catherine Bigelow for The Hurt Locker. I think that Chloé Zhao is definitely going to take home this award for Nomadland. I'd be happy to see just about anybody else win this. Thomas Vinterberg for another round. He's a director I mostly like. I don't know that I think to me that seems like a slot that could have been filled by somebody else, like another woman, even like Eliza Hittman for Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, or Rada Blank for the 40-year-old version, which didn't get any love from the Oscars, which is kind of disappointing.
Best International Feature Film.
Yes.
The nominees are Another Round, a Denmark film, Better Days from Hong Kong, Collective from Romania, The Man Who Sold His Skin from Tunisia, and Quo Vadis Ida?
Quo Vadis Ida.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
You've seen all of those.
Yes, I've always had the most problem with this category from the Oscars based on how it goes, because every country that wants to qualify in Best International Film, which used to be until last year Best Foreign Language Film, each country gets their own one nomination, and then there's usually like 90-some countries vying for that now. And I've been to these award screening with members and have given Q&As, and to expect all of these voters to see all of those films just for one category is impossible. So this category is always very scattershot to me, with stuff that has absolutely had no buzz kind of just popping up unexpectedly here, which is, I think, what's exciting for some filmmakers, so not to take that away from them. But almost always there's stuff left out here. And then they do that short list where there's like 9 films that make the short list, and then that's kind of the chance for all the voters to catch up with the buzzier titles in that category. So I'm disappointed to see like Russia's Beanpole not here, or The Two of Us from France, which did get Golden Globe nominated, but I feel bitter that neither of those showed up here. Or Dear Comrades from Konchalovsky would have been great in this category as well. Anyhow, and then Collective, which is a documentary from Romania, which is excellent, but is also nominated for Best Documentary. So again, you're taking a slot away from somebody for a film you've already given a nomination to in the category that is really more fitting, based on format. However, I'm very happy to see Quo Vadis Aida from Jasmila Jabanik, the Bosnian entry, which is about the 1995 massacre in Srebrenica, which I saw out of Venice in 2020. Excellent, harrowing film. I really would love to see that take home this prize.
Okay. Finally, Best Picture. The nominees are The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Again, I think since the Oscars have reverted to the 10-picture nominee list, there's always like one or two that just feel kind of like filler to me. Minari...
Which ones feel like filler?
Trial of the Chicago 7.
Okay.
Minari one is interesting because that won Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival in 2020 for the U.S. dramatic narrative. And at the Golden Globes, they decided to award that Best International Feature. But it's about South Korean immigrants in 1980s American heartland. So it's a U.S. film. So I'm glad to see that the Academy, because usually buzzy titles like that, like Quaron's Roma, was nominated for Foreign Language and Best Picture, knowing that it would securely probably get one of those awards. So I don't think Minari is going to win. I'm glad to see that it is in this category at least. Yeah, I don't know. I am happy to see Judas and the Black Messiah here. It's the first time that a Best Picture nominee has had all black producers show up in this category. So I think that's exciting. I would love to see that win. However, I think Nomadland's probably going to take the top prize, which wouldn't upset me, and certainly it'd be deserving of that distinction. But between those two, but I think Nomadland will win.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest? I know that you generally don't even like watching the Academy Awards.
Correct.
So yeah, you have like a few moments to...
growing up, my mom had all the tons of portrait books from the 70s of all the Best Picture winners. So I remember poring over those all in black and white, and that's how I was introduced to a lot of names and movie titles for the first time. And they kind of there's kind of this own mythos about it, and the great thing about awards is it kind of cements what was popular or quality at the time. It's speaking. Cinema is always speaking to our times, even if it's in the past or the future, right? It's sentiments now, and but the problem with that is all of the great things that aren't looked at because there's this body of people that is voting on them that have their own kind of agenda. I think they're all political. I'm very happy to see that they're finally seeming to feel more diverse in what they're choosing to honor. But I think I'm so bitter over the years at all of the people that have been left behind that are so deserving of this distinction.
Like Sigourney Weaver.
Like Sigourney Weaver, the first double nominee to lose both. Thanks, Gina Davis and Jodie Foster. But be that as it may.
Do you want to shout out a few people who you think should have also won Academy Awards?
I think Ava DuVernay should have been nominated for Selma. At least nominated for Selma in 2014. That was the year of Oscar So White.
Okay.
And that, especially because they nominated for Best Picture, and then they don't nominate her, which would have been, she could have been the first black woman nominated for Best Director. Instead, I think they nominated Morton Tildum for The Imitation Game, which is a film that, besides that distinction, I have major problems with. There's just so many, that. For all of the people of color that have not been nominated, there's also a ton of women that, why doesn't Glenn Close have an Oscar? Why doesn't Michelle Pfeiffer have an Oscar? When in year after year they prize these young white girls, it drives me crazy. I can't stand that Brie Larson won over Charlotte Rampling, or Jennifer Lawrence won over somebody I'm pretty sure I thought was more deserving that year, or
who's the La La Land lady?
Emma Stone won over Isabelle Huppert, which there's no point going there because I'm not in charge and it's just my opinion. But the awards almost always drive me crazy, and for every time the Golden Globes get something right, they get that much more wrong. I thought
you're talking about the Golden Globes?
Well, because the award season, season overall.
You want to talk about the BET Awards now? What do you want to talk about?
BET Awards are probably more consistent.
Actually, they probably are. Any final words? Do you know what day the awards are?
No, I don't even know that I'm going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
It depends on what's going on with life on that certain day. I wasn't planning on watching the 2016 awards, and we had a friend over, and that ended up being kind of crazy.
That was the Faye Dunaway Warren Beatty.
Because we're all screaming at the TV over La La Land, and then immediately elated over.
Gotcha. All right. Well, anything else?
No, and obviously, congratulations to all the nominees, and if we had more time, and I would have been fine going through every category, but. That's like watching the awards themselves. And
yeah.
It gets to be a little much.
Okay. Toodaloo.
Bye.